Welcome back to the Bad Influence Podcast, Relationship Wednesday, where we talk about the truth about relationships no one else wants to talk about. I'm the bad influence that you need in your life, Bjordan Banderas, and today, just for today, let me slap you with the truth about relationships. If you're in a committed relationship and think you're signing up for nothing but romance and date nights, you're in for a rude awakening. Because real love is messy, raw, and yes, sometimes it means playing therapist for your partner. Believe it or not. And here's the thing though. I've been there. That's why I wanted to talk about this. I've sat across from my wife, listening to her unravel her deepest fears and insecurities. And she's done the same for me. It's not always easy, but that's the deal. When you say I do or commit to someone, you're also saying I'm here for your chaos. If you don't think that's how relationship works, you're not ready for a relationship. Because here's the thing. We are human. The other person that you're committing to, the other person that you're marrying to for, according to some, the rest of your life, has emotions. Life is going to hit that person. Those emotions are going to unravel when that happens. So if you don't learn emotional intelligence, if you can't hold space for your partner when they're falling apart, you're setting your relationship up to fail. Let me tell you that. That is the truth. I have seen couples go through the same stuff, just like my wife and I went through, and they crumble. Because they don't understand that love isn't just about passion. It's about patience, understanding, and the willingness to dive deep into the deep end together. You guys have to dive deep into that deep end together. It's not like, oh, well, you had a breakdown. That's on you. Oh, you're depressed. No, that's on you. Oh, you are sick. That's on you. I'm not going to take care of you. No, that's not what a relationship is all about. So today we're going to talk about what it really takes to be in a committed relationship. We'll break down why emotional intelligence is non-negotiable and how to cultivate it, and why embracing your partner's chaos might just be the ultimate act of love. I know there's a lot of people, particularly from the red pill, saying like, no, you don't have to deal with that. But I don't think they have gone through anything like I have gone through. People that say that is like, you don't understand anything about a relationship. So let's start with the problem. This is the biggest problem right now in regards to relationships. Society sells us a bullshit version of love. The movies, the fairy tales, they all make it seem like love is all grand gestures and happily ever afters, don't you think? But they don't show you what happens when the honeymoon phase is over. When life gets real. When shit hits the fan. What they don't tell you is that love is also about holding your partner's hand when they're crying at 2 a.m. because of a bad day at work. It's about listening without judgment when they're processing old wounds. It's about showing up when they feel unlovable, even when it's inconvenient, when it takes you away from your Sunday night football. Yeah. Sometimes it's going to be inconvenient. Sometimes you're not going to be able to hang out with your friends or go to a Halo party or play video games until late at night because you have to be there for your fucking partner. That's what the relationship is all about. And the biggest lie of all is that love will magically fix everything. Spoiler alert. It doesn't. If you don't have the tools to navigate emotional chaos, love can actually make things worse because it amplifies your flaws, your insecurities, and your blind spot. So let's get real. Love isn't the problem. It is not. The problem is that most of us are not taught how to handle the emotional labor that comes with it. I remember the first time I realized love wasn't just about romance, it was about emotional labor. My wife, this is before she had her breakdown and she got sick. My wife was going through a tough time at work. So she came home one night. She sat down and just broke down. She didn't need me to fix anything. She just needed me to listen. At first, I didn't know what to do. I was lost, like a deer on headlights. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. My instinct was to solve the problem, to offer solutions. In this situation, she wanted to quit her job because her boss was a piece of shit. So I was like, well, quit your job. I can take care of you. That was my thought. But as I sat there, I realized she wasn't asking for solutions. She was asking for support. She needed me to hold space for her, to be her safe place. And you know what? She's done the same for me. There have been times when I've come home carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. And she's been the one to say, let it out. I'm here for you. That's love. It's not about fixing. It's about being present. Those moments taught me that being in a relationship means signing up to be each other's therapist sometimes. And if you can't handle that, you're not ready for the kind of love that lasts. Might as well just say, I'm in this relationship for this amount of time. The moment that shit hits the fan, the moment that you come home with your emotional instability, I'm out. Because it will happen. So here's the deal. Emotional intelligence isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation of a healthy relationship. Without it, you're basically trying to navigate a stormy sea without a compass. You're in for the ride of your life, and if you're not prepared or you don't know what the hell you're doing and you're not willing to learn in the process or during the storm, you'll crash and burn. Because here's the thing, emotional intelligence means understanding your partner's emotions even when they don't make sense to you. That's the most important part about emotional intelligence, because it's about recognizing that their feelings are valid even if you don't share them. And most importantly, it's about managing your own emotions so you can show up for your partner. Think about it. How often do fights in relationships start because one person feels unheard or misunderstood? I would say around like 95% of the time. And this is based on the relationships around me and some of the issues that I had in my relationship before we decided to work on it. But when that happens, that's a lack of emotional intelligence. When you can't hold space for each other's emotions, resentment starts to build. And once that happens, it's a slippery slope. But the good news is that emotional intelligence is a skill you can build. And when you do, it transforms your relationship from a battlefield into a sanctuary. And that's what you want in a relationship. You want to turn your relationship into your safe space. Not for financial gain or any type of gain. It's for that peace, emotional peace, where you feel love, where you feel heard, where you feel, safe. That's what you want in your relationship. And if you don't have that, at one point or another, shit hits the fan and the relationship crumbles. How do I know this? Because I have seen it so many times with my friends, with people that I know, and their relationships. So, how do you cultivate emotional intelligence? Well, let's break it down. Step one. This one is important. I have talked about this one a while back, but this is important for today's topic as well. Active listening. When your partner is speaking, don't interrupt them. Don't try to fix everything. Don't just say like, "Oh, well, I can do this for you," whatever. Don't get all worked up because of it. Just listen. Just listen. Just literally shut the fuck up. Close your mouth. Don't say anything. Don't open your mouth at all. Focus on what they're saying, because sometimes your partner doesn't need solutions. They just need to be heard. Step two, empathy. Right now, we're lacking empathy in relationships and in life itself, in life in general. So this is important as well. You have to put yourself in their shoes. If they're upset about something that seems minor to you, don't dismiss it. Don't just be like, it's something stupid. No, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. That's the dumbest thing you can do in your relationship. Because here's the thing. And you have to remember this. Their emotions are valid, even if you don't fully understand them. It's okay if you don't understand their emotions and all of that. It's theirs. It's their emotions, not yours. So just try to literally put yourself on their shoes. And that's it. Then step three, self-regulation. This one's tough because when your partner is upset, it's easy to get defensive or take it personally. But real emotional intelligence means managing your own feelings so you can focus on theirs. This is also important, and it's tough to do and understand because we're not wired like that, or at least a lot of us didn't have an example of that growing up. Step four, ask questions. If you don't understand how they're feeling, ask. Can you tell me more about what you're going through? I know the way that I'm saying it sounds dumb, but you can say it in a different way. You can also say or ask, how can I support you right now? That's something that I always ask my wife when she's telling me about how she feels. I'm like, what can I do for you? And she's like, well, nothing, just listen. And I just shut up, don't open my mouth, and listen. These questions show you care and want to understand. That's important. It shows your intent to understand. Step five, patience. Ooh, I know we don't have a lot of patience right now in society. So this one is going to be also important and tough to do. Because here's the thing. Emotional growth doesn't happen overnight. No. So if your partner is working through something, give them the time and space they need. Yes, please, let them take their time. Don't rush it. Your job is to walk beside them, not rush them. And step six, consistency. Emotional intelligence isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. The more you show up for your partner, the stronger your connection becomes. When you build emotional intelligence, love stops being about grand gestures and starts being about the little things. It's about the late night talks, the quiet moments of understanding, the way you show up for each other when it matters most. Real love isn't about perfection. It's about patience. It's about saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here for you, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. And the beautiful thing is that when you hold space for your partner, you teach them to do the same for you. Love becomes a two-way street, a partnership built on trust, respect, and emotional safety. That's the kind of love that lasts. The kind that weathers storms and comes out stronger on the other side. The kind of love we all deserve. So here's the bottom line. If you're in a committed relationship, you're signing up to play therapist sometimes. And that's not a bad thing. It's a privilege. But to do it well, to do it in a way that helps the relationship, you need emotional intelligence. Without it, love becomes a battlefield. With it, love becomes your greatest source of strength. So if you don't know how to become more emotionally intelligent, I recommend you to read the books from Daniel Goleman. He's the one that actually coined the term emotional intelligence. He has a podcast. It's called One Person Plural, something like that, if I remember correctly. I'm just speaking from memory at this point. So do that. Research it. Go to therapy if you need to. Learn about it. Become emotionally intelligent so you can help not just yourself, so you can improve not just yourself, but your relationship and the relationships that you have with others, with your friends, at work, wherever. This will help you. But when it comes to your actual relationship, your intimate relationship, like your marriage, things like that, it will make it so much better, to the point that you're like, wow, I never knew I could have this kind of relationship. And even your partner is going to even say like, wow, this relationship is the best. Why? Because you're emotionally intelligent and you're taking control of the relationship and you're helping the other person let their negativity, all those oppressed feelings out. And when they do that, they're going to start feeling better. They're going to start working on themselves. And they're going to bring that new positivity, that new happiness, that new intent to be good into the relationship. And that's it for today. If this episode resonated with you, share with your partner, your friends, anyone who needs to hear it. Let's spread the message that real love is about more than just romance. It's about understanding, patience, and showing up for each other in the moments that matter most. This is the Bad Influence Podcast with your host, Bjordan Banderas. Go out there, build the kind of love that lasts, and remember, love isn't just about holding hands. It's about holding space. And I'll catch you in the next episode, and have a great day.